Welcome to Byte-Sized Tech. Look, AI is absolutely everywhere, right? But what is it actually doing for us? And maybe to us? I mean, with all the hype flying around, it's kind of tough to get a straight answer. So that's what we're going to do today. We're cutting right through the noise to give you a real, clean snapshot of where AI stands in 2025. All right, so here's our game plan. First, we're going to tackle the big one. Hype versus reality. Then we'll dive into the AI co-pilots you're probably already using. After that, we'll zoom out to look at jobs and some mind-blowing breakthroughs, explore how AI is basically everywhere now, and wrap up with how we can all navigate this new AI future. Okay, let's kick things off with hype versus reality. Right now, there is a massive, massive gap between what we imagine AI can do and what it's actually capable of. And you know what? Understanding that gap is pretty much the key to using this tech smartly. So, the big question is, what does AI really mean for you right now in 2025? We're going to start small with the tools right on your screen and then zoom all the way out to the huge seismic shifts happening all over the world. All right, let's dive into the tools we actually use. For most of us, our first real taste of AI is through a chatbot, right? You've got your big players like ChatGPT and Claude, and they're awesome for getting quick answers. But what's fascinating is that they have totally different personalities. You can almost think of them as two different kinds of teachers. So Tom's Guide did a great comparison and found that GPT-5 is all about action. It just jumps right in, giving you step-by-step instructions. Claude, though, it's more conceptual. It wants to make sure you really understand the why behind something before it gets into the how. And look, neither one is better than the other. It just completely depends on what you need in that moment. And honestly, that's what makes these tools so incredibly useful. I mean, one minute you can be using it to help debug some tricky code, and the very next, you're brainstorming a theme for a birthday party. They've really become our digital Swiss Army knives. Okay, but here's where we hit the brakes. There's a huge flashing warning sign, and it's coming from inside the house. Nick Turley, the head of ChatGPT over at OpenAI, basically said, look, until we are provably more reliable than a human expert, we're going to keep telling you to double-check your answers. That is a massive deal. He's saying, hey, these tools are amazing, but they are not the source of truth. The final check? That's on you. And the reason for that giant warning label is a little thing called hallucination. Now, you gotta get your head around this concept. These AI models, they don't know things in the way we do. They are incredibly sophisticated prediction engines. They're just guessing what word should come next based on all the data they've been trained on. And yeah, a lot of the time, that lines up with reality, but sometimes it just confidently, and I mean confidently, makes stuff up. I mean, take a look at the new voice mode in GPT-5. CNET did a deep dive on this, and on the one hand, it's pretty amazing. It feels super natural, like you're just talking to someone. It's a fantastic brainstorming partner that can keep up even if you're rambling. But, and this is a big one, the cons are serious. The answers are way less detailed than when you type. You get absolutely no links or sources to check the info, and it can sometimes get a little, well, sycophantic. It just kind of agrees with you, which can feel nice, but isn't always helpful for finding the truth. Okay, so that's the stuff on our own computers. Now let's zoom out and look at the bigger picture. How is AI changing the world? We're going to focus on two massive areas, jobs and scientific breakthroughs. So let's just get right to the number that always makes the headlines. 300 million. That's how many jobs Goldman Sachs thinks could be exposed to automation in the next 10 years. That's a huge, scary-sounding number for sure. But that's only one side of the coin. On the other side, you've got the World Economic Forum, and they predict that AI and other tech will actually create about 170 million new jobs by 2030. So you see, this isn't really a story about job loss, as much as it is about job transformation. We're not just talking about old jobs disappearing. We're talking about entirely new roles popping up, things like data engineering or jobs that are all about working side by side with AI. But look, can AI do more than just shift our workflows around? Could it actually help solve some of the biggest problems humanity is facing? And the answer seems to be Yes, this is where things get really exciting. Take a look at how MIT is using AI to fight superbugs. This is just incredible. First, an AI generates over 36 million potential molecular compounds. Just think about that number. Then, other AI models sift through that massive list to find the most promising ones. Then, the human researchers step in. They synthesize and test just the top candidates in the lab. And the result? They discovered 2 totally new antibiotic compounds that can kill these dangerous drug-resistant bacteria. This is a process that would have been literally impossible just a few years ago. Okay, this brings us to a really important idea: the AI-powered ecosystem. We're moving past the point where AI is just some app you open up. Instead, it's becoming a foundational layer that's just built into everything we use. You want to see what I mean? Take a look at the Perplexity Comet browser. So on the surface, it's built on Chromium, feels a lot like Chrome. But its heart is an AI answer engine. It can summarize YouTube videos or articles for you right in the browser. It even has an assistant that understands what's on your screen and can automate stuff, like helping you shop online. Now, its one weakness is that it can sometimes struggle to find the absolute latest information, but it shows where things are heading. And this isn't just happening on our computers. It's in our living rooms, too. Check out the specs for the big new OLED TVs for 2025. Yeah, they're still competing on things like refresh rate and how many HDMI ports they have, but the real war is being fought over the smart TV operating system. Whether it's WebOS or Google TV, that software is now the hub for everything AI-powered. From recommendations to voice control, AI is becoming central to how we watch TV. So the big takeaway here is pretty simple. We're leaving the era of AI apps behind. Pretty soon, asking if your new phone or TV has AI is going to sound as silly as asking if it has a touchscreen. It's just going to be there. A standard feature, not some crazy novelty. Naturally, when AI gets this deeply woven into how we get our news and information, it's going to create some major friction. This timeline here is a really fascinating and complicated case study. You've got Media Matters reporting on ads appearing next to extremist content on X. Then, Elon Musk sues them. The FTC gets involved and starts an inquiry into Media Matters. But then a court steps in and blocks that inquiry, calling it a retaliatory act that violates the First Amendment. It's a perfect storm showing the intense, high-stakes battles being fought over information, speech, and accountability in this new AI-driven world. So, where does all of this leave us? We've seen the good, the bad, the powerful, the flawed. How are we supposed to navigate this future that's arriving so incredibly fast? All right, let's just quickly recap the big points from today. First, your personal AI co-pilot. It's an amazing partner, but it's a flawed one. You have to verify what it tells you. Second, on a bigger scale, AI is a total double-edged sword. It's disrupting jobs, for sure, but it's also powering these incredible breakthroughs. And finally, AI isn't an app anymore. It's a fundamental layer of the tech you're using every single day. So if there is one single thing I want you to walk away with, it's this. The key right now is not to trust AI blindly. It's to engage with it critically. You need to understand its strengths and its weaknesses. And honestly, that skill, being a critical user, is probably the most important one you can have as we move forward. Which really leaves us all with one final question to think about. As this technology keeps evolving at, let's be honest, a breathtaking pace, what role is it going to play in your future? Is it just a tool? Is it a partner? Or is it a replacement? The answer, for all of us, is still being written. If you enjoyed this explainer, please like, comment, share, and subscribe.